What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Rest Podcast. Before we get into today's episode, a fun little giveaway for you. We would love to give you a free 15-minute audit. Here's all you got to do to win the giveaway. We were like, why don't we connect with more people who listen to this podcast, like, more intimately? So we were like, we should do a giveaway for it. So you can pick your brand, your pricing structure, your pricing guides, your website, your social, your marketing, whatever it is that you want. If you're the giveaway winner, you are going to win a free 15-minute audit on that. Now, here's all you got to do to enter the giveaway. Simply screenshot this podcast. Screenshot this podcast, upload it to your Instagram story, or just make your own video or photo, put it up on your Instagram story about the podcast. Tag us talking about your takeaway from this podcast or any of the other episodes that have been impactful to you. Make sure you tag at Creative Rise. That way we can see it. Bonus if you tag Christy, Jay Spears, and Joey Spears on Instagram as well. That way we can double see it. And we're going to be picking the winner and shouting out whoever it is on next week's podcast.
Woo-hoo.
And then getting in touch with you. And we would love to schedule a free 15-minute chat to just like audit whatever you feel like you could use a little bit of a boost on. And that's going to be a momentum builder for you, which is epic. So
it's going to be great.
It's going to be so fun. So talking about momentum builders, Christy and I just got back. You're looking tan, by the way. You're looking a little bit more tan.
It's real.
We just got back from, I couldn't imagine you fake tanning for a podcast or something. We just got back from 2 beautiful days. It was really 3 days we were there, but 2 great days in Arizona. We were at a mastermind. Now, I'm going to get through this really quick because this episode is going to be really short and just consumable with a great lesson in it. But we were at a mastermind that we paid $5,000 a head, so $5,000 each to be at. And it was just over 24 hours long. It was really short. We paid $10,000 total, another $2,000 for flights and hotels and all that stuff. That's a lot of money to pay for like 2 days of hanging out with some people. Now, what is a mastermind? To quickly clarify this for you, a mastermind by definition is a room that people create or a person creates where a lot of people come together and they simply are together to share about what's going well in their businesses and what's potentially not going well. And the goal is that everyone helps each other fix some problems and move forward and launch out with momentum.
It's epic.
So it's a great, brilliant idea. We have a mastermind here at Creative Rise, the Creative Rise 6-week mastermind. Now, we've got content included on that. We've got coaching calls and accountability stuff, but it is a mastermind as well. It is all geared towards helping you move way faster than you would alone because you're doing it together with people, and it's a brilliant concept. So we were just at one. I've been through a bunch of masterminds. This was one of your first experiences in this type of a mastermind, very specific to like an in-person 2-day thing. It was epic. Again, we paid a lot of money for it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I want you to understand that we paid $10,000, $12,000 so that you didn't have to. One of the biggest lessons, we learned a lot of lessons. One of the biggest lessons that we learned though was just how important who you sell to really is.
Absolutely.
And the reason why we learned that was because we were surrounded by so many different people. There was 12 businesses, 14 people in the room.
Yeah.
And we all had different businesses. And they can name off a few of the businesses.
There was
really
like
cool.
a huge athleisure brand from New York.
So
there was
epic.
a tech company. There's like professional services companies, social media agencies, personal gym ownerships, people. We got personal brands in the room. Basically every single type of business.
Yeah, or at least a lot of them.
That needs creatives, right?
Oh, totally.
They need people just like you. And what was actually so cool for us to hear that I think is going to be encouraging to you, which is why we're doing this episode, is that every single person expressed a deep felt need for content, a deep felt need for creatives that they can trust to help bring results in their business.
Yeah, so these are like different industries, different companies, different styles of business, yet they all need content, which is what you are so great at, what we are great at, right? Now, here's what's really interesting. We also, because it was a mastermind, we also got to see under the hood about how much money some of these people are spending on creative, how much money they're spending on marketing, how much money they're spending on this and this and this. And it was such a good reminder to us. That room was full of by probably a general term of people, full of wealthier, rich people, right?
Yeah.
And it was so funny to get reminded of something that I saw Alex Hormozi talking about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or something on a tweet. It's a great Alex Hormozi quote. Here's the quote right here. It says, "Rich people have the same problems as poor people. They just solve them differently. They spend money to solve them in different ways." So the important just value behind that quote is simply that if you are not making good money off what you're doing, but you know what you're doing is good and it's a good offer, you're probably just selling it to the wrong person. You might be selling it to a poorer audience than a wealthier or a richer audience, right? And like a good example of this is it's the same reason why transportation's a need. Some people will spend $100,000 on a car. Some people will spend $1,000 on a car, right?
Yeah.
They have different spending habits that obviously incur a different product and product, but it's, at the end of the day, they're solving the same problem. They're solving transportation, right? But what's different about how the rich people spend money is there's often something attached to the purchase that's not just like the core outcome that they were looking for. So it's not just the car, it might be the luxury feel of the car. It's not just the car, it's the status of the car. It's not just the car, it's the efficiency of the car. It's not just the car, it's the reliability, right? Like there's always something. It's not just the car, it's the relationships. Like Ferrari, it's like a boys club, or a women's club. I know there's lots of women that own Ferraris, but it's like once you buy a Ferrari, you're kind of like in, you're not supposed to sell it without like the company's permission. Like it's crazy. You're buying relationships, right? So this is a big reminder, and we saw this past couple of days. Like everyone spends different amounts of different amounts of money on different things, but it was a great reminder that wow, when we're in a room with a bunch of wealthy people, like they really do value what creatives do, and they spend good money on it.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that there's creatives not making money because they're like, no one's buying this, or it's $2,000 and it's too expensive. It's just crazy to say that. We're probably selling to the wrong people.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're telling yourself that, you're probably selling to the wrong people.
Yeah, we were in the room with all these people, and I talk to creatives all the time that are like, oh, brands just aren't wanting to spend money right now. People don't want to hire social media managers, blah, blah, blah. And I just sat in a room with a bunch of people who were like, oh, I could easily drop $5,000 a month on a social media manager.
Oh,
like,
easy.
They were like, oh,
if they can
that's
do this,
the low
this,
end.
Easy.
So what the difference is here is that you will always find people who only want to spend $500, right? You're always going to find those people. However, the question is, are you going to go out and find the people who are willing to spend $5,000, willing to spend whatever you're trying to charge, because those people do exist. Hear me that it's not just like an industry thing that everyone decided to stop spending money. That's not true. You're fishing in the wrong ponds if that's the only thing you are experiencing. So get in the rooms, get in the virtual rooms with people that are doing bigger things and they're at a higher price point, and you want to target those people instead of fishing in the pond where everyone's just going to start price checking you and all that kind of stuff.
Totally. This is a massive reason why, if I look back in my career selling videos, selling marketing funnels, whatever we were building, like I have had clients that I've probably done for like $500, and I've done the same thing for like $10,000 to $15,000. It's crazy. It's all because I was fishing in a different pond, right? So, there's really one core lesson to that. So the first thing that I want you to walk away with is, again, remember the fact that we already said earlier, rich people and poor people have the same problems. Richer people, wealthier people, richer businesses, wealthier businesses, whatever it's going to be, they just pay to solve them in a different way, right? So here's a couple examples. Rich people, rich businesses, wealthy businesses, they want to buy not just like the end result of like, oh, here's the outcome that I'm getting. I'm getting photos of this. Or they want something deeper than that. They often want something that they can associate with that result. So here's a couple examples of them. Rich people want to buy speed. They want to buy consistency. They want to buy audience growth. They want to buy clear brand positioning. They want to buy relevancy. Oh my gosh. If you can help a business, a wealthier business, or a wealthier personal brand, a wealthier person, a wealthier real estate agent become more relevant, sell that. They want relationship. Can you sell them on relationship? Hey, if I can help you with this content strategy, it's going to up your relationship with this person or this person, right? They want identity. Sometimes they're like, hey, this is my identity now, and 2 years from now, I want this to be my identity based off of what's grown online. If you are the fill to the gap between where they are now with their identity and where they're trying to become, like sell them on that. Don't just sell them the photos. Don't just sell them the videos. This goes for wedding people too. Like this is so applicable to wedding people, right?
100%.
It's not like in the wedding space. If they're really wealthy, maybe you're selling privacy. You're not just selling wedding photos. You're selling privacy. Maybe they're a professional sports athlete and they want you to sign an NDA. And you're like, I'm so excited to do that. Let's be so private about this very personal side of your life. Oh, and by the way, it's $15,000 for the wedding. Like whatever it's going to be.
And I'll tell you firsthand, I have never had a high ticket wedding client ever go, you didn't deliver enough photos. Or like, oh, we need this like extra small 30 minutes here, this, that, like nitpicky. You don't get that with usually high ticket people. You're getting people that go, I want the results. And if I'm getting the results, awesome. How you do it, I don't care. Whereas you have a low ticket person, they're going to go, well, let me like nickel and dime you for every single little thing and be high maintenance and all that kind of stuff. Usually, not always, but usually. And so focus on that high ticket market. Focus on the results. Don't sell the art, sell the results.
Yeah. And last little thought from this whole topic of, are you selling to poorer people or richer people, poorer companies or richer companies? We are in a, whatever you want to call it, a recession, not a recession, whatever. People slap a bunch of different words on what we are experiencing right now, but we have been through crazy financial turbulence over the last 3 years. Really high highs in the markets, really low lows, and there's a lot of stipulation about what's going to be happening. If we enter a really, really devastating recession, here's a great tip for you. Sell to the rich people. In a recession, who's affected the most? Not the rich people typically. It's normally the middle class gets crushed, and the lower class gets crushed as well. Sell to the rich people. It's something to think about. So do you already have a business that is positioned to serve people that have wealth? Serve businesses that are bigger, that have more wealth? If the answer to that is no, you should probably reconsider your offer. You should probably reconsider adding something. Now, I'm not saying you have to only work with people who have higher wealth or companies that have more cash flow or bigger or whatever, bigger brands, but you should be definitely considering adding some, whatever the word is there. You know what I'm talking about. Some redundancy.
There you go.
Don't just sell to poor people. I don't know anyone who wakes up and says, I just want to sell to poor people.
Yes.
You're not going to make a ton of money there, right? Go where the money is. Follow the money. If the money's flowing to the bigger brands in the bigger industries or to the bigger names for this or that, follow that, right? So that's a wrap on today's podcast. We had a great time in Arizona. We learned so much about the different businesses that we have and what we're going to be implementing from that. It was phenomenal. Shout out to Chris Harder for putting together a phenomenal room, phenomenal experience. Chris has been a good friend for years, and he does it better than anybody I know.
Yeah.
But what a great reminder of all the things that we got to learn about what we all do as creatives, in that we get to take all that stuff home and we get to save you the 10 grand. We get to bring you some of these little knowledge bombs that we experience when we pay to be in these rooms. So further than that, we just want to celebrate the fact that there is 1,200 people that have already gotten free access to the Creative Rise pricing calculator.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Unreal. So unreal. So if you're maybe struggling, you're going, I want to pitch to those rich people. I want to find those rich businesses. I want to start really pitching to the right people, but I just don't know exactly what to charge. We have a free tool, a free resource that you can use to do that, to find out exactly what you need to charge per project to make your goals for whatever you want to make in your
and it's
business.
free. Say it again. And it's free. Say it again.
And it's 100%
free.
free.
It's still free. It was free a second ago. It's still free. It's going to be free. We love it. We spent a good amount of time developing this with the team, and we're proud of it. It's been so helpful. We've gotten so much great feedback from people about how the pricing calculator is helpful for them. So where can they find it?
Yeah, they can find it at creativerise.com/pricing calculator. Now, if you're nervous about spelling the word calculator, just go to our Instagram. You'll be able to click on our bio and you'll be able to get that access right away. If you're also going, hey, this mastermind thing sounds super interesting. I wonder what that would look like as a creative. We run masterminds. So if
specifically for creatives.
For creatives.
Yeah.
So if you are interested at all in joining a wait list of the next one that's coming out, just go to creativerise.com. You'll see the buttons all over there to join the wait list for the next round. We've put 270 people through it. It's crazy. So if you're interested in that, jump on it.
Amazing people. Amazing
it's going to be awesome. So again, last reminder, if you want to enter the giveaway to hop on a 15-minute strategy audit session with us about whatever you want in your business, all you got to do is screenshot this podcast, write what was impactful for you, or any other podcast, write what was impactful for you, tag us at Creative Rise, bonus if you tag Joey and I, and we will pick somebody this week to do that with.
Yeah, can't wait to see you guys next week. So we will announce the winner next week. We'll see you next week on the podcast. Thank you for sharing this podcast with friends. Thank you for tuning in every week. We so appreciate you guys. We hope this is really valuable for you. So until next week, see you then.
Thanks, guys.